Our blinking dragon. Now we're going to add some smoke coming out of its mouth. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a layer, and I'm going to rename this layer to smoke so I know what it is. Always a helpful place to start. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to prepare here by inserting a blank keyframe, because that is where our smoke is going to end in this animation. So in order to do this, I'm going to start off using some oval tools. I don't want a stroke on this, so I'm going to set the alpha of the stroke down to 0 because it won't let me turn it off, but 0 alpha is transparent. I've already got a fill color that I've set up. Now what I've done when I've set this up, I've set it to a radial, it'll come up as solid color initially. I've set it to a radial gradient. I've put in 2 points of a grey, so it'll come up with just 2 on the outside. First one, I've double clicked and I've set to that grey. This one, I'm actually going to change slightly. I'm going to set to a slightly lighter grey. So we've got a solid gradient, and then this last point, I've clicked on it and I've turned the alpha for it all the way down to 0. So we have that transparent edge. I'm going to close that now. I've got my ellipse tool for starting off with, and I'm just going to add some little puffy tendrils of smoke coming out here. And I am going to overlap these slightly, but I don't think I actually like that going to lighter grey. It doesn't look very effective, so I'm going to turn that back. I'm also going to get a bit confused as to why I've got that there, but there we go. Do that. I should be able to delete that, but if it doesn't delete, I'm just going to set that to the same colour. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. It is basically going to look what I want it to look like anyway, just as it is. So I'm going to leave it like that. Ideally, you would have 3 along here. I seem to have decided that replicating them is a good idea. Not entirely sure why. But I'm going to leave it like that, and now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add those circles that I took out back in. So that looks better. I'm going to just do some circles going back into the mouth here. So the smoke is going to come up and out of the mouth. I'll just do a fairly biggish one at the front. So that's one bit of my smoke set up ready to go. The next bit, I am actually going to use the brush tool. Brush tool, again, it already has that radial colour set to it, and I've changed my brush shape from a round brush into one of these striped brushes here. Doesn't really matter which one you use. All will have the same effect by the time you're done. Now what you will notice is I'm actually not drawing on the stage. This is because I want my smoke to come off the top of the stage. What I am going to do is I'm going to draw a number of smoke tendrils going off up the top here. And I might turn my brush size up a little bit. And that's just going to give us something slightly bigger to work with. Let's have some slightly thicker ones. So we'll come around to here and then we'll just take it off. And that gives us a nice big smoke tendril by the time we finish colouring it in. So we will have quite a few tendrils of smoke, all of which are in that faded gradient that we used before. Last bit that we need to do, we've actually already done when we did our eyelid, and that's create a shape tween. And what you will notice after we skip back and we play through is that our smoke will be released and will go floating up off the screen. Saving our file obviously a good idea, so I'm just going to give this a quick save as Chinese Dragon. Or words to that effect. And I'm going to place it somewhere where I know I'll be able to find it. And that will save it as an Adobe Animate document. So that's saved, just in case anything goes wrong. I'm going to then go File, I'm going to Export. I'm going to try export a movie. Because in here, there's a GIF. There's an animated GIF. Select the animated GIF. Don't do what I do and miss. And make sure you know where you're saving it to. So mine's going into here. I'm going to take the space out the name for this one. And I'm going to save it. I'm going to keep the settings that are in here. Standard colors are fine. I don't need to set any transparency. It will repeat forever because this is set to 0 repetitions. I'm not quite sure how that actually works, but because it's a GIF, it would loop automatically, so that might be why. Then when I click OK, that is going to export my GIF, and all that would be left for me to do now would be to upload it into Moodle.